Hello everybody, this is Tim here again for another movie review. No, not my Snyder Cut commentary yet, but I am still getting to that. Probably after this video, but I just felt like I needed to do this review. This is for the newer movie called Psycho Goreman, which is pretty much a parody of like family flicks, like a parody of monster movies really, but combined with like an element of family flicks. This film has been getting like mixed to negative reviews. It has like a 6.1 or 2 on IMDb, which I can see why. Just to give my rating for this flick right off the bat, from 1 to 4 stars, it's an easy 2. This is an okay time waster. This is not a movie I would ever watch again, like honestly. Maybe just to hear like a commentary or something, I might pop it in again. Like if I found it on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever for like $3 or something, I'd probably buy it just for craps and giggles, just to have it on in the background, maybe to listen to a commentary or something. As is, this is an okay time waster movie. I really would not bother watching this again. Some people online are really liking it because like, well, it's so stupid and absurd. I like it as like a trauma type movie. But trauma movies are normally movies that are more fun bad because they're even more outrageously stupid than what this film goes for. Like this film, you can tell when you're watching it that the director was really going for a good parody comedy movie with this, and it's just not that well done writing wise. And in the trauma films, the characters are more likable because they're more absurdly ridiculous, and here the characters are not as likable as what you would get from over the top bad trauma film. This is kind of like a one-note joke kind of stretched out for a little bit too long. It does kind of work for a while, and the movie starts you off with the idea that this is going to be kind of like a well-done horror comedy, but by the end of the movie, it's pretty much just, it devolves in the second half to more of like just like a parody of a monster movie type thing with 2 kids involved. Pretty much you got these 2 kids, you find like this space alien who they nicknamed PJ Psycho Goreman or whatever, who's this over-the-top monster who just rips people to shreds with blood and guts flying everywhere. The special effects are really good. Like the movie goes for obvious comedic vibe with these over-the-top like Power Ranger looking costumes for the aliens and stuff, and it's done on purpose, and it is funny. This film, what saves it is there is a good sense of humor at play here, and there's a lot of good jokes here. What hurts it is the script. This script is really lacking. Had the movie just been more absurdly stupid like a trauma film and just went way over the top with it, then I might have enjoyed it as just like a silly, really over-the-top trauma film. But there are much better trauma films than what this film is here. And trauma films are films that are so bad they're good, really. Here, this film is trying to be a legit good parody monster movie film. Like you can tell the director is really trying here to make something. You got the 2 kids, and you got like the little girl in the movie. A lot of people have pointed this out. She's like an obnoxious asshole through the whole movie, and I get why the director did it. He wants to make her like the non-typical like quirky kid. It kind of has elements of like the movie The Gate, except the kids in that were kind of likable. Here, the main girl is just an asshole named Mimi or whatever, and it's not the actress's fault. She's doing what she got paid to do, what she was told to do, and her acting is good. I didn't have a problem with any of the performances here. But yeah, you got like the mother and father in the background here, and later on they try to bring in like this family drama that just really feels forced in and is not needed. Like they try to actually make the mother and father like full-fledged characters, and it just comes out of nowhere, and they just try to add in like this whole element of like the dad being lazy and not wanting to do anything, and the parents having like marital problems, and it never gets resolved, and it just feels so thrown in just for no reason. I guess the whole idea is to make the parents feel more like characters later on, so you could come together and have like a family dynamic message of this whole dysfunctional family coming together or whatever despite their faults, but it doesn't really sell it good enough in the film with the writing. And you got like this other boy who the main girl, like the asshole girl, has like a crush on, and later on in the movie, because he wants to play video games with the boy who's like a huge puss, he's like a wimp, it just lets his sister boss him around all the time, and he does everything for her. It really doesn't explain why he does, since he's older than her and bigger. It doesn't really explain why he takes crap off of her the whole movie. It really doesn't explain it. And it doesn't explain why she's just a jerk for no reason. Like when it started off, I was actually having fun with her character because the tone felt more balanced, and even when it got silly, I was like, okay, this is kind of a horror comedy. And then later on, I was like, okay, this is pretty much a parody movie. But the movie picks and chooses like what it wants to be over the top and stupid, and other things it tries to treat serious. like they like the boy that the girl has a crush on, like she orders the psycho Goreman guy who they nicknamed PJ or PG or whatever, which is pretty funny, to transform him into like an obedient creature that'll just do whatever she wants, and he turns him into like this mutant brain thing. And the girl doesn't freak out or anything, like she's not upset that what this guy turned into because she has a crush on him or whatever. It's just treated as like a joke. And like the kid's parents never complain about what the hell happened to their son. Like they just brush it off like it's a huge joke, like what happened to the kid, just like it's a joke. And I get it. You're not supposed to think about it. By the end of the movie, it's clear that the director's wanting you to just kind of treat this as just like a stupid cartoon, just not to look at it as any kind of reality basis, just laugh at how stupid it is. But I'm not like a real big fan personally of just things where like nothing really matters, where it's just a big joke. Like those types, like the best, like the problem I have with that is the movie set me off at the beginning to think that this was going to be more of a legit, well done horror comedy. Then by the middle part, it just kind of goes in the cartoon world where they're just walking around with this boy who's been turned into like a mutant brain, and nobody in the town is questioning it. Yet when they're like playing basketball with the mutant PJ guy at school or whatever, all at once the cops show up, like, and they're like, "What the hell's that?" Like nobody complained about the mutant brain kid, but everybody's complaining about them playing basketball with this guy. There's no tonal mesh to the movie, no like it doesn't stay like with the tone that it's trying to create and keep going. It jumps from like different tones and different styles over and over. There's no like one whole mesh for the film. Like when it starts off, you think for the first half it's going to be like a horror comedy, and then about these kind of like slightly dysfunctional parodies of suburban family or whatever who are dealing with this psycho Goreman alien thing who's like ripping people apart in over the top gory ways, which are kind of fun. And then it just transformed to like, no, this is going to be like just a full-fledged cartoon where nothing matters. And that's not really what the film kind of sets you up for. Like maybe if that would have been like the tone from the beginning, I would have been more okay with it and just be like, yeah, this is just stupid. I'm just going to laugh at it because that's what the filmmaker wants me to do. But that didn't feel like what he was setting up at the beginning. It felt more of like a love letter to B movies, like a parody type, like a horror comedy type B movie thing that he was trying to make. And then by the second half, it's like he just gives up and he's just like, no, let's just do a over the top silly cartoon with this where nothing really matters. Like the girl doesn't complain about what happened to the boy she had a crush on, and later these two cops show up and one of them gets like mutated by PJ into, or PG whatever, into this mutant freak, and he wants to like commit suicide and everything, and like neither the little girl nor the little boy have any reaction to it whatsoever. Like, I get the little girl's character is supposed to be off the beat. Like, instead of the typical family, like, normal little girl thing, she's just like, but it's one thing to make her just like an asshole, but like a psychopath, to where, like, she doesn't have any emotion toward anything really whatsoever. Or hardly anything whatsoever except her family. And even then, it's really only by, like, the main end of the movie, and it's never explained why she's like this at all. There's never any hints given or anything, and there's not much of an arc here with her. She never really changes. By the end, she tells her brother she's sorry, but that's pretty much all you get. It's like a very base level thing. And she does have really funny moments. There are some like offbeat funny moments. So I started thinking, well, is the director's kind of going for like a dark comedy parody thing of monster films? That's my problem with this movie. It kind of jumps all over in different genre styles, and it doesn't totally mesh with, you don't really get the full idea of what the director's going for to the main end. By the end, it's just like, yeah, I just wanted to make a really stupid cartoon parody of B movie monster flicks. Enjoy. But the thing is most of those parody type movies or B movie monster flicks still had kind of likable characters, and the family here is not totally likable that much to get you through everything that's going on. There are a lot of ways this film could have been fixed with the script to where sorry, I'm adjusting my camera a little bit there, to where this movie would have been better. Like, they deliberately go out of their way to show this little girl's an asshole. Just like she goes to pray to a cross to God or whatever, and then she all at once cuts and goes, I wanted to know what sunglasses I should wear, and then she like breaks the cross over her knee or whatever. Yeah, you're trying to throw in some like edgy humor or whatever, but just kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. But I get it. The little girl's acting is fine. The little boy's acting is fine. The family's acting is fine. The dad is just okay. He's kind of like a non-entity. Like, the whole thing about him is like he's lazy, and that just kind of gets thrown in the second half. All in all, the script here is just kind of messy. It could have been honed better and put together better. You could have had like a classic here, kind of like The Gate is, like a B-movie horror comedy classic or children's horror comedy classic or whatever out of it, like The Gate or similar. But instead, you just kind of have like a dumb, stupid, on-purpose movie that's just kind kind of like a dumb parody in cartoon land. Like, I'm okay with movies that just say we don't care about having logic. If that would have been the way this movie kind of started off at first, maybe I'd have been more okay with it. But it's not kind of the expectation to set me off with at the beginning. It kind of just devolves into that and gets stupider and stupider as it goes along. But I want at least something to matter in a movie I watch. And if you're just going to be totally stupid with it, just make it more fun. You know, like have the little girl snorting cocaine or something, you know, go completely crazy with it to the point of just like psychoticness. Then I probably would have liked this movie. If it would have been like Hit Girl or something, if the little girl would have been like that, or if she would have been like snorting drugs or something, you know, or getting the monster to like legitimately go around like murdering people that she didn't like, stuff like that, like go completely balls to the walls crazy with it, then I probably would have liked this movie and been on board with the director just doing like a straight up cartoon. I would have been on board with it. But the movie, it doesn't set that up at the beginning. So yeah, sorry about this. I'm adjusting my camera just a little bit more here. I got my laptop sitting on my knee, so it's kind of turning angles a little bit. But the movie doesn't really set you up for that. I do like the whole Power Ranger alien type outfits, and the gore is really cool in like a B movie type way. Special effects are good here. Yeah, all in all, this is just kind of like an okay movie. I'd give it a 2 out of 4. It's a one-off watch unless this like me personally, I'm a huge B movie fan. Like and I like movies that are so bad they're good, but I don't really feel like this movie accomplishes kind of either of those perfectly or really good. It does at some points, but then it just kind of devolves the further it goes along and gets worse. All in all, the script needed some polish here. I hope the cast, like the main little girl, I hope she goes on to do some other stuff. She's got acting talent here. She does good. She's totally fine in the role that she's given, but she's not written very well, and the script here isn't doing her that much of a favor. And the movie just kind of goes on too long. This could have been wrapped up quicker. But like I said, there was multiple ways you could have fixed this. Either make it a legit, like, more children's horror comedy type thing, like The Gate, like a horror comedy B-movie type thing, or make it even more over-the-top cartoon, so the more silliness of it in the second half really fits more with what you're going for. Just make it completely stupid, like the little girl snorting cocaine and stuff like that. And then it would really feel like a trauma film to me. As it is, this doesn't really feel like a trauma film. It has trauma elements, but it doesn't go far enough with the ridiculousness to really be a trauma film to me. This feels more like somebody trying to make like a parody love letter to B-movie monster flicks, really. Except it's not as good as the best ones of those genres. As is, this is a 2 okay star film. Like I said, it's a time waster. The only way I can see you like really loving this film or whatever is if you're just like somebody who's just on board with the campy stupidness of it, and you just accept all the bad like writing things, and you're just like, oh, it's just so outrageously stupid, I really like it, and that's fine. But I mean, there's much better movies out there that if you're like me and you've seen like millions of movies, there's way better like campy stupid movies that do these types of ideas like way better. So bottom line, good intentions, just kind of a misfire. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again.